Add your stream. There you go.
Okay. All right. I'm in here now.
All right. They should be able to hear you.
All right. Well, once again, you on my hey, you on my phone. I mean, I'm listening to you on the phone. I can't hear you via the StreamYard.
Yeah. That's just my phone is funky. And my laptop is funky, bro.
Okay.
So it's like I can't.
All right. Now I'm seeing.
What I can do is I'll type in the chat.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Because it does say, you know, I mean, hey, I can understand how this is, but I see it says everyone can see and hear me.
Yeah. Boy. Now my laptop screen is completely black.
And my niece bought me this cup, so don't nobody laugh at me. Where is it at? I don't know what kind of cup it is.
Add your stream. There you go.
Okay. I'm gonna turn this one off. I'm in here now.
All right, they should be able to hear you.
All right. Well, once again, you on my hey, you on my phone. I mean, I'm listening to you on the phone. I can't hear you via the StreamYard.
Yeah. This is my phone is funky. And my laptop is funky, bro.
Okay.
So it's like I can't.
All right. Now I'm seeing.
What I can do is I'll type in the chat.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Because it does say, you know, I mean, hey, I can understand how this is, but I see it says everyone can see and hear me.
Yeah. Boy. Now my laptop screen is completely black.
And my niece bought me this cup, so don't nobody laugh at me. Where is it at? I don't know what kind of cup it is.
Add your stream. There you go.
Okay. I'm gonna turn this one on. I'm in here now.
All right, they should be able to hear you.
All right. Well, once again, you on my hey, you on my phone. I mean, I'm listening to you on the phone. I can't hear you via the StreamYard.
Yeah. This is my phone is funky. And my laptop is funky, bro. Okay. So it's like I can't.
All right. Now I'm seeing.
What I can do is I'll type in the chat.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Because it does say, you know, I mean, hey, I can understand how this. Okay. Now it seems like it's on a rewind or something like that.
No, it's a delay.
Oh, okay. The delay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a delay, man. And because of the way that we're doing this,
right? My niece bought me this cup, so don't nobody laugh at me.
You know, you're probably gonna get some feedback, so I might have to shut this one down and use my daughter's tablet.
Okay, whatever you you know, I mean, whatever you have to do. Do you need me to go out of this, or it's all good?
Yeah, you can back out, and I'll get it back up with my daughter's laptop.
Okay. Okay. So just press leave studio.
Yeah, you can leave the studio, and I'll get it back going again. Yo, can you guys hear me?
Hello?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, 1 second. All right, let me take care of this right now.
You should be able to see me and hear me now.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, now you want me to go back to that same link?
Yeah, go back to the same link. You can go back to the same live stream and use the same link.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, let me see. Okay, says everything. All right, can you see me?
Yeah, let me get you in here. There we go.
All right, let me undo this. All right, I can hear you now. I'm gonna turn this off. All right, what up, my man?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Oh, you got it. How you doing?
You know, living.
Good day. Good day to be alive, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So, y'all, welcome to the live stream. This is Baboo. You guys know who he is. You know, based on all the drama that's been going on with Mighty Mouse. Yo, Baboo, you wanna tell the people who you are real quick?
Yeah.
Take care of this.
Was it a delay? Are you? Wait, go ahead, run that again.
Can hear me now. Oh, are you still on your phone?
No, let me see.
Yeah, go back to the same link.
No, my phone.
Back to the same live stream and the same link.
No, my phone. My phone is off.
So yeah, just tell people who you are, where you from, a little bit of background, so they know who you are. If you've been here.
Well, Baboo, out of the Rollin 90's.
There we go.
Okay, let me undo this. All right, I can hear you now. I'm gonna turn this off. All right. What up, my man?
What's up, brother?
Oh, you got it. How you doing?
You know, living.
Good day. Good day to be alive, huh?
Yes, sir. Do you have So are you in the StreamYard and you have the YouTube playing? To live stream this?
I don't know. You want me to?
So you know who he is.
You want me to stop?
Pause the YouTube and the StreamYard. Mighty Mouse.
Okay.
Uh-oh. You know, Baboo is not really into technology like that, y'all. So, you know, bear with us. Let me yeah.
All right, is that better?
Yeah, because when you have YouTube playing and StreamYards, if you have the volume up on YouTube, it'll interfere with it. So,
all right, that was my apologies to you and definitely the viewers. I'm not savvy with this social media stuff. So,
what's up, Gusto? We got people in the house. We got Shot Killings, Anarchy. We got the Gates. And, you know, if you want, you can answer some questions. But for now, let's tell the people who you are.
Baboo, out of the Rollin 90's. Let me see a little background. I did 28 years in prison. Went at 17, came home at 45. So, you know, lived in that lifestyle. So now I'm, you know, working on, you know, being a human being now rather than a subhuman. I call all, you know, the lifestyle that I used to live, I refer to it as being subhuman. When you're out there, you know, attacking your own people, you know, committing, you know, genocide. I just call it subhuman. So now I'm, you know, integrating into humanity now.
Right. That's what's up. That's what's up. So you're working with the community now, right? To
correct.
Help stop the violence, and you're trying to do gang intervention, and your name rings in the streets in your area. You know, not everywhere. Like some people might make you think, but in your sphere of influence, you're trying to make changes, right?
Absolutely. I do work in my community. I do cross borders only when necessary, and with the people who have a license to operate in the, you know, in the grid, or, you know, in the community, as we call it, because, you know, not everybody can, you know, go and talk to people and try to work to resolve issues in our community. You know, so their name have to be respected in the streets, and, you know, people have to, you know, see them, you know, having something that they can, you know, positive, and not having nothing on their name or nothing like that. So definitely.
Can you tell us why that is? Why you can't just cross borders and you can't? Can you tell us why that is and why even if like two OGs from separate hoods are cool with each other, you still gotta make it work in a certain type of way. Can you tell us why that is?
Well, I mean, from my perspective alone, both individuals, have to, be be acknowledged from their community. They just can't just say just to have a name doesn't mean anything in these streets anymore. You have to be a man of your word. You can't have no smut on your jacket, and not just that, but the guys who are on the other side of the borders, who I'll respectfully call rivals, they have to know who you are as well. Right. And if they don't know you, of course they're gonna sit up there and they look at you like, who the hell is this guy? He can't talk to us about nothing. So that's what that is.
So basically, a shot caller is not the same as an OG. Not all OGs are shot callers, right?
Nah. The name, I think shot callers is overrated. Right. And anybody who think that they're gonna be calling some shots out here is gonna be in for a world of trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
The young cats, they have a mind of their own, and
the young cats, they actually do have they are autonomous, and I mean as somebody who's been in the who was around an extremely long time, a couple of decades and quite a few decades, but
right,
even that right there, I don't look to try to influence anybody, because when I was these youth age, nobody could tell me what to do. Right. And that's pretty much how, I made my bones in these streets, is because I went against the grain in every aspect of the game when it comes down to gang banging. You couldn't tell me nothing. No OGs, no nothing couldn't tell me nothing. So I don't seek to try to influence or tell anybody to do anything.
Right. All you can do is guide and hope they get into the guidance, man. That's how I feel about it.
And and to put it in a cool perspective, I'll always share my story, because people be like, dang, because a lot of the guys who, especially those youth, shucks, if their mothers were born, or just youth, that was a situation, but a lot of them didn't know me coming up, so when they just heard about my name and things like that, then they ask, hey man, that 28 years in prison, that was a damn long time. And I'd share with them what the consequences of your actions are.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, it's consequences, and when you're out there in the field like that, death, prison, those are pretty much the primary outcomes that's gonna be guaranteed. And I mean, some make it through the, some squeeze through the, through them ropes, and they able to do something else with their lives. But for the majority, it's not always like that.
Right. So yeah, it's a very delicate balance in those streets, man. And I respect you for doing all that time and doing all that time in the streets and doing all that time in the prison industrial complex, and making it out and turning your life around, man. Much respect to you for that.
It was a journey. It was a journey. And I was
sure. And I'm looking forward to having more discussions with you about that in particular.
Anytime.
But right now, we why I called you Saturday.
I know why you called.
I was like, man, let me call this dude, man.
I know why you called.
Yeah, and we know what we're talking about. We're Mighty Mouse. We know that he's running around. We know what's on his jacket. And somebody was asking about that. Sean Killens asked, what does smut on your jacket mean? So can you tell us what that means?
Smut on your jacket means, like, it could be telling, it could be child molestation, it could be, anything negative that can have people, could put you in the spotlight and have them question something that you've done.
Right.
Because anybody who hasn't, an upright is working in an upright character, his character isn't going to be questioned. But so if your character is questioned because of something that you did, that could be considered smut on your jacket.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And so How do they ferret that out? You hear rumors? I've never been to prison. I'm a square. Just so y'all know, me and Baboo, we don't know each other personally.
No, yesterday.
I never pretended like I knew you like that. Right. I was like, the homie that I grew up with is your little homie. I don't know how he knows you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's none of my business.
Well, his daddy is a daddy.
Well, I know. Yeah, everybody knows his daddy.
Yeah, his daddy
is now in the streets, man. Cage fighter. You know, we know who Ghost is. Cage fighter.
Big
he was more into that than really
Space Ghost.
Space Ghost, yeah. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, I met him like once or twice.
Right.
But he was just like, he was a wild one, man. Like he's one of the ones that you were talking about. You can't tell him nothing.
Can't tell him nothing. Couldn't tell him nothing.
was the same way. I mean, I don't even know why I said his name. The little Ghost is the same way.
Right. And I mean, just to reference Big Space Ghost, and I actually, you know, he was one of the ones who actually kind of influenced me with his actions, because he was like a fighter. And when I saw how he was a pugilist in the streets, I was like, I got that. You know, I got that. You know, because he was a pugilist, man, and I was like, you know, so it's many spectrums. I mean, don't get me. I won't ever glorify gangbanging. I'm not, and I'll encourage anybody who even thinks that they want to do it to choose another path.
Right.
You know, something that's gonna get you some prosperity. But because I was engaged in it, you know, it was what it was, and he just happened to be somebody who influenced me to go into the fighting field.
Okay, let's show. So
I'm talking about Space Ghost.
Okay, yeah, because you know, Lil Ghost, he's a fighter too.
Yes, he is.
He's a hell of a fighter. That dude got
hands. Look just like his daddy too.
Yeah, look just like him. Got hands like he's a good dude though. He got out early. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you that, and he'll laugh at me. He still got a way to go before he be in his daddy's shoes.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah. For sure. I mean, Bloodsport. Like you see that movie Bloodsport, right?
I have saw Bloodsport.
I'm talking about that. It got deep. I already know. I heard the stories. You know what I'm saying? And Lil Ghost, his son, man, he's a great guy. He's doing the trucking now. Doing the trucking.
Respectful.
You know,
respectful man and family man, and you know, I admire him for the choices that he's made. You know, and again, you know, he's a father. He's a family man, and I definitely respect and admire that in him.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So let me ask you, so just to set the record straight, I didn't know it was Baboo. I thought it was Bamboo. And because he sent the text and I guess it auto-corrected. I was like, okay, Bamboo. What it is?
Right. Well,
so, I mean, but it's all good. So,
but it's actually
in my head about that. They think that they won a debate or they won something when they tell me, oh, I told you it was Baboo. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna set the record straight so that anybody who wants to know is Baboo.
Baboo.
It's okay. Baboo. And even though for years, man, I don't correct people, you know, because it's always in a respectful content. They didn't call me Baboo, Bamboo, Batu. I know what they mean. And so, you know, they just kept it in a cool, you know, respect. And so it's all, but it's actually pronounced Baboo.
Okay, for sure. All right, that's what's up. So what was your impression of Mighty Mouse when you first met him?
You know, I thought he was very impressionable. You know, I thought he, you know, in speaking to him, you know, I could tell that, you know, he knew his craft. You know, and you know, I thought he was a pretty decent person when I met him. You know, I didn't initially know red flags or anything. You know, I thought he was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, I had the same impression.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you know, and then you did the interview, which was a good interview, by the way. It was a really good interview. And then shortly after that, all this stuff starts coming out. The first thing I saw was him rolling up to Hoover's hood, dropping your name on some. Well, it turned out there weren't even really Hoover dudes. There was some guy in the back seat, feeling like he was standing on the corner. And then he dropped your name, and I was like, And that was the first red flag, because I'm like, even a square like me, I grew up in Compton. You know, I lived down the street from Kelly Park Crip.
Okay, I know. Okay.
During the time when they got blew up. Remember they got blew up in like 92 or something like that.
You know, I was in prison then.
Oh, well, yeah. My bad. You know, I
but
lived
it's okay.
Down the street from Easy Mama's house, you know. So,
okay.
But even I know that dropping Baboo's name in Hoover is not really like, they're really not going to care about that, honestly.
Hell no, they're not going to care about my dad.
But it wasn't that big a deal, because what he said was, we're trying to do this guns down, glove up movement. I was like, okay, that's fine. But then when I heard that he said that this cat Pino checked in with you for Hoovers, I'm like, nah, that don't work like that. Mm-hmm. So did anybody check in with you from Florida named Pino Hoovers?
Actually, okay. Let me try and put a couple of things in perspective first.
Okay.
A few years ago, I had wanted to do this campaign because, let's face it, when it comes down to the A-Trade gangsters, the Hoovers, the Inglewood families, these were the guys that the 90's were all beefing with, and I got tired of it. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to see any more of these parents lose their kids. So let's try to develop a guns down, fist up mentality, and let's try to work it out in these streets if we can. And let's try to get funding for this. So it didn't. So I was speaking to different guys from Hoover, the Bloods, but I spoke to older guys, guys who can network with their people, because I just can't go to youth, and be like, hey, I'm such and such, let's do this. They'd be like, man, get the. If they don't, whatever their mentality may be, and that's not something that I'm willing to risk at this age. Right. And so that, it just I just let it just fall to the wayside. I had other things to work on. So they, Lil Ghost, he had knew what I was trying to do, and I guess that's how Mighty Mouse got, wind of that I had wanted to do something similar to what he was doing.
Yeah. I actually called Ghost,
okay,
and asked him. I was like, man, I got a guy from Virginia. He's trying to do this guns down, glove up movement, and then that's when he connected with you,
right?
So yeah.
And so he told me about. So when I was introduced to Mighty Mouse, he told me, I went to a place or two in Culver City. That that's why I initially met him. He was up there sparring with a few guys. I just went up there and I met him, and so that's when we hooked up, and we said, well, hey, we'll do something else in Jesse Owens Park. And then so after we did that, he asked me about the Pino guy, from wherever he was from, Florida, and then some guy named Milk that was from Hoover. And so I can't do anything. Right. All I can do in the work that I do and the bridges that I have established with certain guys, all I can do is see what they can say. Right. All by myself, I can't go over there and promote anything. All I can do is just say what, I can just speak in my community and say, hey, we can do this and we can do that. But anybody else's community, it's nil. Now I won't even attempt to do that. And so I reached out to some people, just to see if some of these names were reputables, but the feedback that I had got from some of these names, and I won't even mention those names. They were just mentioned, but I won't say who. But there was nothing respectful in any of these names. So they were respected. Yeah. So their community was like, pfft. So they're like, oh, I wash my hands.
Okay, so because I have a question right here from Gusto. I don't know if you can see the chat, but there's a tab where you can click on the chat and you can see the chat. But this one guy, Gusto, he says, so is Milk 74 official?
Excuse me?
He asked, is Milk 74 official?
I'm not going to answer that. I'm not answering that.
Hey, that's all you need to say.
not answering that.
Understand, guys, and you guys, he can't just answer every question in the world, right? We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it simple over here. So yeah, that answers the question enough for me. So as far as he didn't actually tap in with you, basically. No. There was no tapping in with you for Hoover. That's no. If you're gonna tap in if you're from Florida and you say that you're part of Hoover's criminals, then you got to tap in with Hoover criminals. Like a teenager, a 5-year-old should know that. You don't tap in with Rollin 90's. Oh, look, I met this guy. I met this OG from Rollin 90's. So now I'm tapped into everybody. That's not how it works. So
let me put it to you like this.
Okay.
Coming from the community that I come from, I don't care if they in Oklahoma, if they in wherever they from. If I need something, I can go straight down there to them communities.
Right.
Whether it's New York, whether it's Memphis, Oklahoma. And, of course, if they don't know who I am, they'll call and do a background check. And then once they hear my name, then they'll be like, oh, you golden, you're good to go. What you need out here.
Right,
but,
right.
So having said that, if any one of these two dudes, had it in their character, had that in their character, they could have touched bases with whether it was with whichever Hoover sets that they were from, and they wouldn't have needed me. They could have, whatever their situation is, they would have resolved that.
Their name would have rang in the streets. Basically.
Their name would have rang in the streets.
That's what's up. So let's get to what did you think when Lil Ghost told you about his jacket, about his charges? What did you think? What was going through your mind at that point in time?
Well, because I'm a fair. When we talked yesterday for the first time, I told you I'm a fair person.
Right.
And I'm extremely fair. I'm neither judge or jury in anything. However, Mighty Mouse actually sent me the link to that. It wasn't, and I sent it to Lil Ghost.
Right.
So he sent it to me and told me that he apologized and there was some things that he wanted me to see, and that he didn't do it. And so I was like, why would you? Yeah, why would Yeah, I mean, of course, it was like after having did a video with him, I'm like, on the heels of that, I'm like, okay, well, what is this for? And so after I heard some of it, some of the allegations that had been hurled, naturally I was uncomfortable with it. But
right, of course.
And again, having gone to prison and seeing what happened to even an allegation like that in a California prison gonna get you stabbed if you white or Mexican. I don't give a doggone. Even if you didn't do it, right. If the allegation is there, you're gonna get stabbed.
And it's not an allegation because you're in prison. Now it's a conviction.
It's a conviction. So, and again, I'm not saying that I'm not saying anything. What I'm saying is that if the allegation is there, it's assumed that you did it.
Right. So did he actually deny it? He told you he didn't do it?
He told me he didn't, yeah.
Wow. Because that's the first time I heard that. Even with me, when I hit him up about it, he didn't say he didn't do it. He sent me this long cut and paste text message talking about Virginia is a Commonwealth and this, that, and the third. Mm-hmm. And in the video, he didn't even deny it in the video that he sent. He was talking about what a carnal knowledge charge is and why he basically caught carnal knowledge charges, saying that he was pimping the mom out, right? Mm-hmm. Out of her house.
Right.
And the young girl, the 14-year-old girl, didn't like him and his homies, so she went to school and ran her mouth. Mm-hmm. Now, this is the problem with that for me. Okay. When he first talked about it, when he was with Street Beefs. Street Beefs is another, guns down, gloves up movement thing, that he was originally a part of. When he first talked about the charges, he said he was 18 years old, mm-hmm. and that he was pimping the mama and her daughter out. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But the charges are he was actually 28, 29, 30 years old.
Mm.
And now you're just pimping the mother out.
Mm.
Right? So it's like nothing lines up. And when people ask him on his, when they go to his live streams and they ask him like, what did you actually do it? Even I asked him, I said, did you or did you not
Right.
do that to that little girl?
Mm-hmm.
And he would just be like, oh, come fight me and this, that, and the third. Like he would deflect.
Right.
So I find it interesting that he actually told you that he didn't do it. I find that very interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Well, for me, and again, I thought that and I said in the beginning of this interview that I thought that he was a cool guy. He was impressive. So no red flags. And so and at that time I had also told him that anytime he comes to California, he can hit me up. So it was like we were establishing, some form, of camaraderie there, based on manship, not anything else, based on respect for man and what you do as a man in these streets.
Right.
And so, after that, when I received that, that video, that YouTube thing, I was like, of course, I was full of questions then. Mm-hmm. I was like, what was going on with this? Because, one of the things, and I mentioned to you, one of the things I will never condone, a child molester. I'm not, I'm just not. I don't care how good, how cool. If I find out me and you cool,
yeah,
I draw the line at child molestation. So the accusation is enough for me to back up.
I understand.
And I'll back up from it because I don't want any parts of it at all. So
I understand that, man. I understand, and that's what I should have did when I first heard him talking about it, saying he was 18 years old. I should be like, you know what? I ain't even gonna rock with it because even though at 18 you're much more, you're still developing. You can still be influenced by the bigger OGs and all that other stuff. Like, man, when I found out he was 24 and all this other stuff and how he's responding, because you're not, you're not on social media like that. You don't know how he's behaving out here.
No,
in regards to these charges, he's threatening people. Somebody just told me, I don't know, take it for a grain of salt because he's just saying this right now. Somebody said that he's already saying you're clout chasing.
Who, you or me?
You.
Oh, I don't give, excuse my expression, I don't give a hot damn about clout.
Oh,
they listen, my community is my niche.
Right.
As long as my community is straight, I don't care about what's going on in the world.
Boom. I'll
so
tell you that.
As far as clout, I don't nut ride. Yeah. I don't give a fuck about Snoop Dogg, EPMD, all these other rappers, Coolio. I don't give a damn about none of these cats.
Speak it, man.
I can tell you what, they can ask any one of their homeboys who done did time with me about me, and I can guarantee you one thing: it ain't one dude who gonna hurl an accusation about me. They gonna always tell you that I was solid.
Oh yeah, so, we already know, man.
So chase the cloud. I don't once again, you just reached out to me about what he was doing, and he's dropping my name and shit. I don't care about social media.
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah.
So to chase clout, and my name speaks for itself in these streets.
Facts, big facts, and that's what I was like, because that's what he does. He did the same thing to Coolio. I told you yesterday.
Oh yeah.
He said he was gonna beat Coolio ass. At first, Coolio was a legend, this, that, and the third. And then when Coolio found out, and Coolio basically he didn't even use Mighty Mouse's name. That's the funny thing. Mm-hmm. He just said that he got betrayed by a child molester in so many words, and all of a sudden he's washed up. Mm-hmm. He a punk. He ain't got no power and this, that, and the third. I'm like, man, this is the biggest problem with Mighty Mouse. This is the biggest problem. It's not that he denies it, because he's not denying it openly. He's telling people, I don't have to explain myself. You know, you can come fight me if you think you got a problem, come fight me, come to my gym. And it's like, and he told one guy, screw his daughter. He said, F your daughter multiple times in a drunken live stream. So this is the biggest problem. And this is a guy that's supposed to be going around the country getting the youth to put the guns down.
Right.
You're not even leading by example. When the way you respond to adversity is to come at people instead of addressing what the problem is. You feel like you don't have to explain yourself, but you're a public figure who's out here who wants to gain access to your hood in particular, to my sister's hood, my cousin, you know, Munchie B and all them.
Right.
You want access to that, they're going to want an explanation. Right. They're going to say, oh, you know what? You don't know. No, hell no. If you want access and you trying to push this movement forward and you want to be the face of it, your name has to be clean.
Right.
No smut on your jacket, like you said.
No, and you know what, man? And this is not to say anything, you know, about him, because, you know, even in this interview, you know, one of the things that I wanted to, you know, to get to the fore is that, you know, I'm not the judge, jury, or executioner in his situation. Facts. All I'm saying is that had I known previously of these allegations, me and him wouldn't have no meeting at all. We wouldn't have had a conversation.
My fault for that, man. My bad.
Like I said
yesterday for that.
Yeah, you can't be held accountable for something that you didn't know. Yeah. But you know, once you found out, you definitely reached out and said,
"Oh, absolutely!" As soon as I found out,
instantaneously, you know, and so I respect that.
Yeah,
but for me, man, and you know, to sit here now after, I don't know if he's listening or, you know, if he's chiming into, you know, into this live stream right here. But in the event that he is, you know, I'm still not gonna, you know, if his situation has been adjudicated in the law, you know, in the courts, then that's his. But I'm talking about my character, what I want to do in these streets. So I won't do anything else. There will be there will be nothing else.
I understand that. So this is the thing. He's been getting a lot of pressure from all these angles, and now he's saying that he wants to remove himself from all the fighting events and focus on trucking and prison and reentry programs. Yeah. Do you think if they find out in these prisons who he is, because he said he wants to go into the West Coast prisons,
okay,
and do prison reentry and all that other stuff? Do you think if they know who he is and when they find out about his record, do you think that they'll accept him like that?
You know, that's a hard call to make, because, you know, people want what they want sometimes. And if he has a commodity where he can sell it, you know, and if it's benefiting other people have the tendency to overlook things, you know.
That's what we're finding out.
Yeah. So, you know, people just have to overtend and say, oh, okay, I'll just turn a blind eye to that. So it's hard for me to say that, you know. Yeah. But then on the other hand, you know, you do have those people who are old school and who believe in, you know, good character and a shake of hand type thing.
Right.
To where they say, okay, business is like really respectable. And if they find out, they're going to be like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
But then it's other people who's greedy and, you know, it's just money over everything. See, money don't mean, I mean, would I like to be well off? Of course I would. Right. But I'm not going to step on my folks no more. I've stepped on my folks long enough in my past when I was a kid. Right. Tired of stepping over my folks to try and get stuff to happen. I want to try and build with my folks now.
Right. And that shows real growth, man. And so, and that's the thing. That's what we're finding out. We're finding out how many people will continue to support him, even though they know what's up.
Right.
Like, they don't care. They're still rocking with him. And it's, you know, it's kind of sad. But at the same time, you know, it wouldn't be so bad if, like I said, if he was a little more humble, had a little more contrition, because even you're saying you didn't do anything to that little girl, to one person that I know, which is just you, but you did destroy that girl's life, selling drugs out of her house, you know, pimping her mother out, doing all these things. like ruining her life.
Right.
For you not to have any remorse for it, for you to not have any contrition and just act like she ran her mouth like she's a snitch. She's not supposed to be on that program. She is a little girl, 14 years old, and you said that you said you pimped her and the daughter out, and I'm standing on that because you lied about your age, but you told the truth about your ex.
Right.
But now that your age is coming out to be truly what it is, now you want to change. Now you want to kind of dwindle the act down to, oh well, I was just pimping the mother out. But anyway, and that's where I stand with it. And because he asked me, right? Because he knows I'm from LA, and he understood that I know people that I'm not a gang member, but I have family members and friends. And he knew that, and he reached out to me. He's like, do you think you can reach out to somebody and get them, can I have an interview and this and that and third? And I was like, yeah, all right. And because I feel like he used me to get to you, essentially, which I knew. I knew, okay, you use it, but I didn't know about any of this. So I feel like it's my duty to put out as much truth as I can about the situation, so that people know what he is and who he is.
Right.
When he's putting himself out there, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I felt. I understand your position. You ain't rocking with him. I'm definitely not rocking with him. And I'm hard to put it out to a lot of people. They're spreading the word out here in LA at least.
And just to kind of add, I deal with trauma in my community.
Right.
And people, and I'm gonna tell you, man, 28 years, first of all, you have to understand what I went through prior to going to jail, prior to going to prison, then inside of prison. So, we can actually be considered, according to mental health, as trauma victims.
Right.
Exposed to victims. And so when I talk to the youth in our communities, a lot of them have been exposed to trauma and just don't know how to deal with it. And so this young lady we're the 14-year-old who we are talking about, not saying that anything happened. I'm not going to commit to that. All I'm going to say is that we know what the allegations are.
Right.
But so she has been exposed to some kind of trauma, whatever that trauma was. And so for him to address that trauma, to sit here and deflect anytime that the question is brought up. He said, because he don't owe me an explanation. He don't owe you an explanation.
Right.
He owed this young lady and her mother an explanation.
Right.
So deal with that. And if he can get the forgiveness of them, if he can try to make that right, then let him come to the world and say, hey, this is what this is. But if he can't do that, I'm looking at it like this. If you did it once, you did it before, you may do it again.
Boom.
So get yourself together.
You're right. And that's my biggest thing, because there's a lot of allegations about other things, him being a predator in general, not just to old people, but things he does. I have people here in the comment section that know him personally,
right,
that knows some of the things that he gets down with, and it's a pattern, right? So I understand exactly where you're coming from, and he shouldn't have put himself out in the world like that, knowing that this was behind him,
right,
knowing that he had done what he done. And you're right, he should have gotten it right with them.
Get it right with them
before. But see, that's how you know his pathology. I mean, we're not psychologists, right? But we know in our own respect, perhaps. Yeah, we know people like that, man. And so you very. I like the way you're approaching this, man, because it's you're not being emotional about it. You're not no ad hominems, and I've stayed away from that. Yeah. But you got people out there threatening it, like saying that they're gonna beat his kid's ass. Like his kids have nothing to do with it. Let's keep it on what it is about.
His kids have nothing to do. And I actually met his son, who I thought was a very energetic young man.
Isn't he?
Yes. Hey, he is the best. And I can tell he loves his dad.
And
he loves his dad. I love my dad.
Have you seen Jerry Maguire?
You know what?
With Tom Cruise?
With Tom, maybe years ago. I know that came
Show Me the Money.
Show Me the Money. Okay.
With Cuba Gooding Jr.
Okay.
So
I remember it. Go ahead.
There's a kid in there that reminds me of Cash. But
yeah,
Cash is a great kid.
Cash is a great kid.
Y'all, we need to understand that this is not about attacking his family. This is
No.
not even about attacking him. Well, it's about attacking what he done. It's about attacking his character.
Right.
That's really what it's about. And his character, he's showing his character to be not something that's very, very noble. And that's why I'm on what I'm on. And that's why I make it part of my mission. Because, you know, he has fanatics out there that might see me in the streets and be like, oh, you fuck with Mighty Mouse, and then they try to do something to me. So, and I know that. I'm like, I'm ready. Hey, y'all bring it on, bring it.
Well, you know, remember what I told you, man, yesterday when we spoke. I tell you, I saw Charles Manson in prison. He had fanatics getting millions of letters every day. The Richard Ramirez is, you know, the $1 Billion Boys, all Billionaire Club Boys, whatever they would call all these guys that did very atrocious things. I did an atrocious thing. I took a life.
Right.
That's what I went to jail for. Okay, so I'm not exempt, but I paid my dues for the crime that I committed. And I was sentenced to 27 to life for the sentence that I did. And I did my time. You know, so I did my time. The system let me out of prison. So, you know, when I sit up here and so when I say that, you know, you're gonna have guys who are gonna have followers, who's gonna have people who like them no matter what they've done. So it's just their characteristics, their charisma, you know, and things like that. And perhaps he has all of these things that other people have that people are attracted to. So
yeah, definitely.
I mean, hey, you know, no matter what I've done, people, you know, women still like me. You know, I'm still able to commune with brothers, and we're still able to shake hands, sharpen each other,
right,
and move on to the next plateau.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah, and that's what it's about.
But there's a sense of humbleness that I sense in you that I just don't get from him. You're like you don't have that narcissistic air about you, where you know it is what it is, man.
I'll have to die.
I was wondering.
I'll have to die.
Right.
Yeah, my life is an open book. I went to jail at 17. My life is an open book.
And people are saying that you should start your own channel, man. Because you got the wisdom that a lot of people are looking to gain knowledge from. Do you mind answering some questions in the chat?
Sure, let's go.
Now, we talked about this thing that prompted me to call you.
Okay.
The Snoop Dogg thing. So
okay.
You saw the video and we talked about it earlier today. And you felt like he may not have been talking about you.
I told you that today. I mentioned that.
I want to let me pick it up. I'm gonna pull it up right now just so that
my freaking neighbors. Let me turn this up. My freaking neighbors is playing they freaking loud music. They don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what they're doing. So it's all good. Okay, go ahead.
All right, now I'm gonna play it just so on my phone,
and just so I can be in a better position to clarify.
Yes.
So hearing this would allow me to do this.
Okay. Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Hold on one second. I have just 1 second. Let me close my window so I can try not to hear. Is that okay?
Yeah. What's up, Solidito?
That helps a little bit. Okay, excuse me. Go ahead.
All right, let me see if you can hear it.
But I was at Planet Fitness doing cardio one day, right?
Here.
Planet Fitness is because I can travel around with the trailer and shit. So I could take showers there and all that. So I was in the gym and I just did my cardio and shit. And I talked to Baboo. He's a Rollin 90's Crip. All right, Baboo. I got a video of me and Baboo. You know, I've had Coolio at my house and all that shit, man. But Baboo, he's like some high level dude out there. Like he did 30 years in prison and all that shit. I did an interview with Baboo, and I was on three-way and shit. And if you know Snoop, you can't mistake his voice. Like you put Snoop on the phone with anybody knows Snoop's voice, you gonna know that's Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm sitting on that jump and he gets on the phone. I'm just like, man, that shit's crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm carrying on a 5-minute conversation with Snoop, man, sitting at the Planet Fitness.
Did you catch that?
Okay, I caught that. Now, let me. I don't have my keys, but am I a member of Planet Fitness? Yes, I am. I'm also a member of Fitness 19. I'm not promoting anything.
Right.
I was never at Planet Fitness with anybody, him or anybody.
I think he was saying that he was at Planet Fitness. And
Okay.
He said he was talking to you at Planet Fitness.
No. Okay.
And then Snoop Dogg ended up on the phone with y'all on the 3-way.
Okay. So just say if that is the case.
Okay.
Not saying that is. Just say if that is the case. Mm-hmm. I've never spoken to Snoop Dogg. I've never been on a 3-way with Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg doesn't know me. I doesn't know him. I don't know nobody who knows Snoop Dogg. So if Snoop Dogg was to hear my name, probably he would be like, who the hell is that? But when I hear Snoop Dogg name, I can immediately associate him with rapping in Long Beach, rolling 20s and things like that.
Right.
I don't know who Snoop Dogg is. I don't know. I've never met Snoop Dogg. Never talked to Snoop Dogg.
Okay, so y'all got that? Mighty Mouse has never spoken to Snoop Dogg via Baboo. Baboo was never put, because I heard him say that before that interview that he did. He said he mentioned it before. And I was like, I don't know about that. But so anybody got any questions? You have a picture of Ghostface. What?
Ghostface?
I don't know.
What goes?
Ghostface.
Ghostface? Who the hell is that? A rapper? That rapper?
Ghostface is from the Wu-Tang Clan. What y'all talking about?
Ghostface is Wu-Tang Clan. That's why I say he's a rapper.
Anybody got any questions for Baboo? I know there were some questions. Let me just scroll up. I can't read all the comments, but I will ask questions that you guys asked. Let's see. Oh, so I don't think Baboo knows anything about Mighty Mouse calling Milk's girlfriend a gorilla.
No, I don't know anything about
that. Milk's girl is black, and Mighty Mouse, And Milk is white.
Milk is white. Yeah.
But his girl is black, and Mighty Mouse called his girl a gorilla. And
that's the thing that got, I believe, many years ago, and I don't know how old you are. I'm 53. I'll be 54 in August. So
I'm 41.
Oh, 41. Okay. I do believe that on the Arsenio Hall show, one of these young ladies who was a singer called her daddy a gorilla, and that was extremely prejudicial and racial, and that did not flow well at all. Calling somebody out that's non-black, calling a gorilla, that is extremely prejudicial. And if you go back and if you find that on Arsenio Hall show in the 90s, you will see that Arsenio Hall, they caught a lot of flack behind.
It sounds crazy, right?
It sounds crazy. You don't never call nobody a gorilla because it's really has some negative connotations.
And I told him that. I said, look, that sounds crazy, man. Like he felt like, oh, I'm from Lebanon. That Lebanon, Pebanon, it don't matter.
Don't matter.
It don't matter. We see you, you're a white dude, right?
Yeah.
Your dad is white, your mother's Lebanese, you ain't never been in Lebanon. So the gate says, respect to you, Baboo, for all the positive you do. Caught your interviews on Kev Mack.
Who is that?
The Gates.
Oh, the Gates. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and he says we know Mighty Mouse is lying because he kept calling you the wrong name. I called you the wrong name until I met you.
It's easy to do that. It's because you know once you hear something, it just resonates in the brain and it automatically comes out like that. But it's okay. But it's all good.
Yeah. And a living that square life says, just wanted to say big respect to Baboo. That's what's up. I think you made it pretty clear. Like, there's quite a few people in here, 44 people, and very little question. They're just, bigging you up. You know what I'm saying? And I think we made it pretty clear what's up.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that you should start a YouTube channel, and I'm here to help you out with that, with technology wise. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We can get you get you going on that. And I'm very interested in the work that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And even myself, I would like to get more involved in that type of thing. Even though because my sister was in it. You know, she's from Inglewood family. She's little KO, KO, Lady KO.
Right.
And she got so hot that she had to leave and move to New York. That's how hot she got.
Wow.
And but she's doing good work in New York. She's working in Far Rockaway, working with the youth and you know, violence prevention and all that stuff. So, you know, I know it's easier for someone like that, right? It's like if you're a drug counselor, they you know, it's a little bit easier for people to resonate with a counselor who maybe was a drug addict before or is a drug addict, right? Or an alcoholic, you know, because they say you never stop being an addict and never stop being an alcoholic. So, but I would like to help in any capacity I can, even if it's just helping you get the word out, help you get your work out there and highlighting that.
Right.
You know, so I would really love to help out with that. Let's see. Yeah. Anybody got any questions? Let's see. Salute. What's up, California Dreaming in NYC? Salute King. Oops. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I just seen somebody Trey Titan 181 asked a question. Are 90s and 20s allies in Long Beach? What I will tell you, there has been many 20s that come to the community. They've been welcomed. There has been no friction. So I would like to say yes. And I myself have met 20s who already, when they heard my name, they knew who I was. And so, you know, just, you know, having said that, there was never any animosity or tension between us. So I would have to say we definitely are not enemies. So.
Right, for sure. And then you got another question from Gusto, straight out of Low Cash. He says, is Mouse good in LA?
Is who?
Mouse. Is Mouse good in LA?
You know, I'm gonna tell you like this. I can't predict that, and I'm definitely not gonna, you know, start an anarchist revolution against him.
Right.
You know, because and again, I have met his family, and you know, despite what he has, you know, what he has been accused of, I don't want to subject his family to anything.
Right.
And I won't be a pioneer in that. So I believe that people make up their own choices in the moment that they, you know, that they see somebody. And if that's what they believe in, I can't say it. So I can't say that.
But he's making it, he's saying that he's not going to actively seek out Mighty Mouse if he comes to LA to do anything to him. But he has made it clear that he's not going to do it. He has no involvement personally with Mighty Mouse and anything having to do with his community, right?
Correct. My community will not be involved in anything with because of those allegations that are hanging over his head. My community won't be involved in anything.
Got it. Let's see. No, Kosovo. Pino did not check in with Baboo. He made that clear earlier.
Somebody from Hoover can never check in with me.
Right.
A person. That's the bottom line. He has to check in with the community or the neighborhood that he is or she is from in order to get the okay to do anything. I cannot approve anything, and I don't even put myself in a position to do anything like that.
Right.
For anybody, not even my own people.
Right. So you're not going to be the tap-in guy for 90s, just to make that clear, right? Because that's active gang culture stuff, right?
That is Rico. I'm not. Rico get your ass a long time. Forget that.
Y'all ain't asking the right question. Well, y'all asking the right questions, but
I can't do.
There's certain things that he ain't gonna be able to get it cracking. We gotta respect this man's freedom.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, after 28 years in prison, I'm living life. I'm loving life.
Man,
I'm enjoying life, and you know, I'm not trying to see anything or do anything that's gonna send me back that way, to jeopardize my freedom out here.
For sure. So Mighty Mouse has a habit of going through all these neighborhoods, right?
Right.
Rules, treetops, driving around, pointing things out, this, that, and the third. What do you think about that type of behavior where he's just driving around? Not getting. He's driving around like during calm times. He's not really doing it while everything's being active. What do you think about him rolling around in LA doing that type of thing?
Well, prior to the information being exposed, leaked, however you want to interpret it, people wasn't looking at him in that vein. They were looking at him, as a person out here trying to bring change, trying to bring something new, nonviolent tactics to our communities.
Right.
So people were looking at him like that. But now you're going to have people, if they see him, they're going to look at him and be like, and when they, you don't want that on you, because there are always loose cannons in our communities.
Right. Absolutely.
There's always loose cannons. And again, we don't control loose cannons. Loose cannons, they have minds of, they're autonomous. They have minds of their own. They don't want their daughters and, people, putting their nieces, sisters, put in situations like that.
Yeah. Yep.
So I can't say.
And there's a lot of young women involved in that culture. So, and I'm pretty sure he's being pretty well known out here as far as his behavior.
A lot of people know him. As a matter of fact, when I did that interview with him and Jesse Owens, quite a few people see me on the streets and they were like, "Man, I love Mighty Mouse." And again, how this, after all the revelation of all this other stuff, I don't know how they will react. But prior to, they were like, like myself, and again, I said this.
I have respect for him.
I have respect for him.
Yeah.
I have respect for him. The only thing that I can't condone is anything against children, whether real or alleged. And so,
just to clarify, he was convicted. He did plead guilty to that. Just so y'all know in the audience. I know where your mind is at. Trust me. I know you're on a different mindset, but I'm making it clear. Even if you ain't saying it, I'm gonna say it.
I'm gonna tell you.
Convicted. To me, it ain't no alleged, but I understand where you're coming from. I respect your position on that.
And again, let me just I want to clarify something. I want to, my mindset. Remember, man, doing 28 years in prison is a different politics. It's a whole different ball.
Yeah, I know.
Whole different ball game from the streets. Because the stuff that people get away with on the streets, you're not getting away with in prison.
Right.
And so if you're not with the whole ball game, you're not gonna make it. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's different. It's a lot different, because I went in the 80s. Yeah, I went in the 80s when this entire thing. But don't get me wrong, in some prisons, still the same. They go by the old rules.
Right.
So ain't nothing changed. So
I don't know if you can see the comment here. Tamiko Anderson says, Baboo, he should write a book if he hasn't already. More people in the community can help by speaking the truth. This can be protection for people after you. What do you think about that?
I kid you not. And if you saw the Kev Mac videos,
I need to check it out.
Yeah, people kind of saw that at the age of 18 years old, I started at 4700, which was a Crip module. And that was like almost unheard of for 18-year-old coming from juvenile hall to start a Crip module. So, my life, I would love at this age to be able to have done what I did, physically. I thought I was Superman. I could take on the world back then. I would fight anything, anybody. I wouldn't care. Nobody's arms was too small or too long that I wouldn't fight.
Right.
And but today I'm sitting up here. I was like, it hurt to walk. It hurt to walk. Shoot. So, but
I hear you.
So, a lot of people have asked me to write a book, and but the only thing is that some of my experiences of the people, rivals that I have crossed, come across, that I have engaged, that I have met, I prefer not
keep some of that quiet.
Yeah, because they have kids, and how would you? I'm just saying, how would, just say if me and X is a fictional person, and for the purpose of this conversation,
right?
Me and X, X was from an enemy, a rival gang when I was 18 years old. Me and him met. I beat the brakes up off of him, but now 30 years later, I'm sitting up there and I'm bringing X's name into a book, and his son, who was in the streets, said, "Oh, that's my daddy."
Oh,
they're gonna be like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So, I respect the game.
Yeah.
And it's not about who I've done something to. I mean, because
come out of it.
I was involved in gangs, and I had enemies. My enemies know me, and so whether past or present, and I give a lot of respect. I'm gonna tell you, man, the guys who I fought, they helped shape me. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have had a name.
Right.
I would have been I would have been like, who is he? But because of the guys who were equal to me in these streets and these other gangs, it was them to help to let the gang world know who I was. And I'll always give them their props.
That's what's up, man. Man, much respect to that.
All the time.
So Quiet Assassin asks, was it hard for you to adjust after being behind the wall that long? I'm asking because my homie has done 20 and is about to come home.
Hell yeah, it was. I remember when I first went to jail in 84. At first I was arrested in 85. They had RTDs back there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I came home after 28 years, I go to this little transitional home, and while on the way, I'm on this van, and I asked the driver, I said, "What is that? It looks like an accordion." And he said, "It's a Metro bus."
Yeah, they got the extended buses, man.
The extended buses. And I said, "What?" And so he was like, "Where you been?" And he said, "Where you been?" I said, "I've been in prison." And he said, "For how long?" I said, "For 28 years. And he took me on a tour of and just showing me all of the new structures in Los Angeles. I mean, man, so much had changed. It was like a culture shock.
Man,
because if you've been to one prison, it's like you've seen them all.
Right.
So the design pretty much after maybe 92, 90 has been the same. Everything is pretty much constructed the same way. So if you're getting shipped to one prison, everything looks the same. But when you hit, but the streets don't. Right. So it was a culture shock.
That's what's up. California Dreamer is making a comment. My pops is very big in Cali gang culture. No names, I will mention though. That's what's up. Keep it classy.
All the time.
So my question, I have a question. What do you think? What do you think about what do you think about so many people kind of like turning their back on gang members and people involved in that culture, like directly or indirectly? What do you think about them always looking down on them like nothing can be done? What do you think about people? Because my mother is involved with that type of thing, gang intervention in Chicago. She's doing something in Chicago trying to do the same thing.
Right.
And they don't get any funding. They don't get any highlights. They don't get like, what do you think? Like people think that there's not programs out here where like, people like you who are trying to solve this problem. You know what I'm saying? But they won't ever come down and talk to you to highlight what you're doing. What do you think about that?
That's a good question because I was actually just talking to a probation officer on Friday, and I work for the grid, and my job, that's my job, but I also have my own organization called Resilient Inc. My own personal nonprofit organization, which I have a 501c3, I can't even get that funded in my own community. So, so I'm having difficulties with that. However, when anytime people come to me, I don't care what they've been through. I don't care, so I never turn my back on anybody, because the resources that are available today weren't, or I wasn't aware of, were aware when I was 16, 17 years old. Right. And so, when I see that, and when I see somebody, and I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm gonna be real honest with you. This guys from Hoover that came to me, said, "Hey, man, I don't want to be a part of that anymore." I've made calls to their people. Mm-hmm. Was able to get that issue. Oh yeah, man. If somebody come to me and say they don't want to be involved in gangs, you know what, man? Guess what? Let's talk. Somebody say they got some, going through some mental, some emotional things. Let's talk. Because I consider myself, like I am a mentor in the community. And so being a mentor in my community, I look at life like this. If I turn my back on one individual who may be requesting the assistance or who may not be, but who has been, brought to my attention via another source. Right. And if I turn my back on them, what if something happens to them and they lose their life? They go to jail. Then I would sit up there and I was like, I had the opportunity to help, to offer some resources, and I failed in my mission. Right. So I don't want that on my conscience. So I'm in this. Just like I was enthusiastic in the gang life. I'm just as enthusiastic as helping people, that's promoting peace and welfare and happiness in every human being's life. That's where I'm at with this.
Man, that's a great answer. And that, and people don't know, that's a story that need to be heard. That's one instance that you're talking about. But people need to understand that these things are being done. You help the young man or woman get out of that life.
Correct. Yeah.
And so many people won't hear about that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's very important that your voice gets heard more often and by more people, because people need to know that these things are being done. Even Skip Townsend, Skip Townsend had second call. You got, and I'm gonna I want you to put your text me your organization if you got a link, and that way at the end of the stream, excuse me, okay, I can put it in the description box. And if you accept donations or anything like that, people can go and contribute and get involved and things like that. I mean, because this is, like you said, it's hard to get funding in your own community. That's what my mother started here. Mm-hmm. She was trying to get my sister out of Inglewood Families. Well, first she started with BPS, then she went to Inglewood Families, and then it turned into understanding why girls get involved in gangs. And so she made a documentary. It's called Gang Girl. Mm-hmm. So, even with the programs with Windows she's trying to do, she could not get funding in California. So she took it to Chicago, where they're a little bit more open. Right. And, it's kind of sad that it has to be like that. Right. And this is exactly, people want to dismiss it. Oh, no one cares. Like when cops kill black men, and they're like, well, no one cares about black on black crime. Like, you're an example of somebody who does care about black on black crime. We need to shut these people up, not because we want to shut them up, but because we want them to focus on us too. Like, how can we get you out there? How can we get you more exposure? Right? Because they'll always expose the riots and the cop killings and all this other stuff. Well, and they'll focus on the black on black crime. Why not focus on black on black crime prevention? Right. Gang intervention, like what you're doing, like what Skip is doing, like what my mom is doing, all these organizations. And real quick, local one, yes, that's my smoke detector. Okay. That's my smoke detector.
Oh, matter. Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, as an electrician out here too. But anyway, so and there's the second call. They help people in communities get jobs as electricians in the trades. Right. And there's a lot, and I'm telling you, people think black people are lazy. No. Mm-hmm. When these brothers and sisters come out off the street and get jobs as electricians and all this, they hustle harder than everybody else. Right. And that's another misconception we need to kill. You know what I'm saying?
you know the misconception about black people are lazy. You got lazy people everywhere, man.
Yeah, every
You have,
culture.
you have that negative element in white folk, Hispanic folk, Lebanese folk, everywhere. So to sit up there and it's easy to criticize blacks because we are black.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you, I kind of look at myself as somewhat of an historian, because one of the things that I used to love to do when I was incarcerated is study history, especially African history. And so, you know, when we have been probably the most rejected people in the world, but yet we haven't been able to be stamped out. We haven't been able, to be extinguished from the face of this earth. Why? Only the Creator knows. Only God knows. The spirit of our ancestors. It dwells in us and gives us that hope. Gives us that fighting spirit. And so, but when you see all these other races who turn against us, like even when I was in prison, I asked some Hispanic people, "What did blacks do to you?" We didn't ever take your land. White folk took your land.
Right.
Blacks didn't take your land. So what issue do you have with me? Why is there an issue with black and brown? Let's have that community. Let's have that conversation with the Mexicans and the blacks. We never took your land.
Right.
We never took your land. We were brought here. So why don't you like us? And so, so a lot of conversations I have with different races and ethnicities, I ask those poignant questions, those questions that make people think.
Right.
Why don't you like me? Why don't white people like us? So, and I mean, if you read, certain books, history books, I have books in here. I apologize. I'm trying to remember all these things, but once you read these books, Jim Crow, all these other books, and you understand, that it was, inculcated in our minds. It was impressed upon us to hate each other, to despise each other. So it's easy for me not to patronize your business, not to watch your show, but to go watch Maury Povich, somebody who's entertaining and distracting and a distraction. Maury Povich is not going to show me what I need to do in our community or how I can help build our community, but you can. All Maury Povich is going to show me is about cheating spouses, homosexuality, who's the father, and also child molestation. These are the things that these are distractions from the real causes and the root of the causes out here in our community. Right. And so don't get me wrong, man. I will tell you, when I was growing up in the world, when I was young and I was engaged in gang warfare, the first thing that I saw in my mind was that black people was my enemy. That's what made me hate blacks. I used to refer to myself as a black racist, if you can even understand the concept. And it wasn't until I was able to grow, till I was able to read different literature, that I began to understand that you're not my enemy. In a sense, we may not be brothers in the, in that physical sense, but we're brothers in the spiritual sense. And I should want for you what I want for myself.
Facts, man.
So
that's a hell of an epiphany right there, man.
Yeah.
And, that's what they do. This is my channel. What I focus on my channel is breaking free of the chains of enslavement in our mind that the government shackles to us.
Correct.
Because what you're talking about is division, right? They're sowing division amongst the community between white and black, black and Hispanic, Hispanic and white, so that they can continue to control us. And what I'm trying to do is, because everybody focuses on, well, black people are oppressed, black people are this, and there's racist toward black people. I want everybody to understand that they're doing it to everybody, right? And yes, racism exists, and there is a disparity between how oppressed black people are and white people. But the fact is, we're all oppressed.
We're all oppressed,
and they're going to perpetuate. And they're going to perpetuate that racial division, so that the focus is on each other instead of where the focus should really be on. Yes, there were white folks in the government that commit atrocities, but there's also black people in the government. You know, the Jays, which you can't really say on the platform because they'll. I'm serious, man. They will shut you down if you say the EW at the end.
Gotta be careful.
They don't.
Gotta be careful.
Oh yeah, and all these. So that and that's what I'm helping to open everyone up to the idea of achieving true freedom,
right?
By breaking down all the propaganda the media puts out there, the government, all the BS, all these laws. So that's the focus of my channel,
right?
And, you know, I want to start adding this as a component of my channel. I would love to have you on here more often. And also, like I said, I think you should start your own channel so that you can do your thing, and I can help you with that.
Okay, definitely. I'll be reaching out to you, my man, and
sure.
and we can definitely see where it goes, because my thing is I want to reach people, man. Because my experience, man, and come on, man. Let me be honest. While I'm not gonna go point fingers at anybody. I accept responsibilities for my actions. I've seen a lot of carnage in these streets, growing up as a youth and, being from the Rollin 90's, involved in gang violence. And now having come to this point in my life, I want to see us as a people. I want to see people, live life, in a way that they want to. And hold on, excuse me. Of course, Baboo isn't going to say anything good about Milk from 7-4. Baboo is a 9-0, which ops of who? First of all, can I address that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Lando Hornback. First of all, I never met Milk. And since you brought that up, Mr. Lando Hornback, I'm going to say this. When I spoke to Mighty Mouse, he asked me to see if I can connect these dots between the two. I told him I have to talk to Hoovers. I can't do it on my own. I called some Hoovers. The Hoovers told me that told me about Milk. I'm not going to repeat what they said because I've never met Milk. I will not assassinate his character. I will not say anything against him because I don't know that gentleman. He's probably 30 years younger than myself. We have never met.
Is that clear, Londo?
So I hope I answered your question. I have nothing against that young man. And to be exact, you can go talk to anybody from Hoover who is 50 or over who knows me will tell you that they talk to me right now today. So I'm not a hypocrite, brother. Ain't nothing that you can say in these streets that I talk to OGs from all the hoods who are established, especially the ones who we had some rivalry with since I was coming up. They're not going to tell you nothing negative about me because we communicate today. Matter of fact, my own cousin, who's older than I am, is from Fire, who's Hoover. Me and him talk all the time. I go over there, and you know what? When I go over there, he tells all his people, "This is my cousin," and that's it right there. His word over there in the Fire, who's Hoovers is mine. I ain't never had no problem. So when I walk and people, and if you ever seen any, matter of fact, just talk to some old Hoover. I've invited them into my area. They've invited me into theirs.
I can guarantee you, Londo Hornback knows nothing. That probably doesn't know a single Hoover. He's what you call a troll.
Oh,
I'm introducing you to something. And the reason I put that up there is so that I can help you understand. He's a troll. If he had a letter. He doesn't even have a face.
Oh, okay.
So we call those people trolls because they're just trying to stir up drama.
Okay, but
and I love how you reacted to it because you could have flew off the handle. That you had a lot of poise when you asked that question, man. And that's what these people need to understand and how to respond to adversity. Is the way you just responded to it. That was great.
Because, like I said, when I see these guys in the streets, I don't look at them as my enemies no more. I don't look at them as my enemies. That's what helps me to thrive in these streets. That's what helped me to establish firm and lasting relationships with people.
And that's how it works. That's how it works. And you got another person up here. Kosovo 87 said you should definitely start a channel, and he should get on Def's channel. Also, a great story. Who Def's? I don't know. So there's a lot of guys in what they call the prison sector on YouTube that does a lot of, you know, they tell a lot of stories and things like that. I think you'd be a great addition to that sector. I think you'd bring a little bit something different, a little bit of more wisdom and knowledge and understanding, because a lot of them can be a little aggressive. You know, a lot of them have done maybe like 4 or 5 years, you know what I'm saying, 8 years, something like that. But I think that somebody like you who's done 28, you've seen generations go through that prison system. Was it continuous 28 years? It was continuous 28 years. 28.
From 17 to 45.
Yeah, so I feel like you would bring, you know, Death is locked down 23-1. I like 23-1. That's a good channel. That I like him because he's humble too. It's a learning experience when you watch the channel. But I think you can do more than just prison talk. I think you can do, like, you know, how to bring the youth up out of that. That's what I feel like you would want to focus on. Like, how do we make changes, bring attention to what the work you're doing. So
definitely.
So yeah, man. If you have anything to say, you want to close out with anything before we get out of here?
But you know, one of the things that I like to do, man, is like, you know, I used to have this little saying that, I don't know, it was years ago when the rainforest was being cut down and allegedly so much death and disease were traveling through airborne pathogens, you know, that they were attributing to the rainforest. And so I said to myself that for years I've taken from humanity, I've taken from life. What can I give now? So that's where I'm at now. What can I give now?
That's profound, brother. Yeah. That's profound. Wait, would that? Yeah, this one guy. Yes, he would have been there, very successful. I believe he would too. We got one more question. Sure. You know, California Dreamer says much respect to you.
Thank you, brother.
You know, people love you in here, man. They see the wisdom, they see the humility, you know, and that's very important. You know, but you ain't no punk at the same time, so that's great. You know,
well,
that's great. You strike that good balance.
You know what it's like. You know what I think of myself as. I've faced any challenge that was meant for me to challenge in life, and I've succeeded.
That's what's up.
So, I mean, I've even boxed in prison. You know, I think I had a record of like 30-1 as an amateur boxer. You know, so people also knew that I wasn't nobody to be played with.
You had some hands. Yeah.
I had some hands.
You got to, man. Doing 28 years in prison.
28 years, and I did use box in a California prison. So, you know, but then, and again, man, it's about good character, though. It's how you carry yourself. And if you carry yourself, you know, as a man, men gonna always respect men. They're gonna always recognize men, because a man knows what he won't allow another man to do.
Facts.
There'll always be a line in the sand which he will never allow anything to cross. And so I promoted that for my entire life. But I've always respected everybody's space, the ground that they walked on.
That's the thing.
I will continue that.
That's what's up. A couple more questions. One is this guy wants to know, Gusto wants to know what prison in California you were in, if he may ask.
Woo! At 19 years old, I went to Old Folsom. Old Folsom was one of 2 level 4s. Level 4s is the highest level of security prison that a person could be in. So at 19, I was the youngest person in a level 4 institution. From there, when my points dropped, I went to Corcoran State Prison. And for a lot of people who knows, the police was promoting black and brown wars against each other. So I was involved in some of those wars as well. Then from there, I went to Lancaster State Prison. From Lancaster State Prison, I went back to Old Folsom because they dropped it to a level 2. Then from that prison, I went back from Old Folsom, I went to Chuckawalla State Prison, which was closer to home. Then from there, there were some allegations of drugs being in my area. The police, and anybody who looks that up will see the police. I beat that in a trial after 18 months.
Wow.
They sent me to, it was right next door. It was a prison of level 3. Can't remember. And then I came home. I was found suitable for parole after I went to trial and was found not guilty. I was released from whatever that prison is, right next to Chuckawalla State Prison, man. It's a level 3. I can't remember, man. But so those are pretty much all the prisons that I was in. I was in like 4 or 5 different prisons.
Wow, man, that's crazy. Well, you live that life, man, and now you live in the straight square life. You know what I'm saying?
I told you I'm trying to be a square. You told me you was gonna show me how to be a square.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how to be a square, man.
I'm gonna hold you to that too, man.
I'm gonna show you, hey, but don't get it twisted. All squares have sharp edges, man. You know
all the time. Hey, I'm gonna tell you. Oh, excuse me. Go ahead. A lot of people used to, one of the things that, when people talk to me, if I don't tell them that I was incarcerated, they may never know, because that's not the lifestyle that I live.
Right.
I work and I strive to live a life that will promote, once again, health and well-being for all. So
that's what's up, man. And so, just so you guys ask for you guys who are asking, he has a channel, right? Because you have to start a channel to actually chat. But okay. I will leave. I'll put all that in the description. So I'll put his channel name in the description. I'll actually put a link to his YouTube. But if he's interested, once he starts doing videos, and if anybody out there can reach out, if anybody wants to, I don't know if you're open to being interviewed by other, channel holders who have some level of respect. I don't know if you're open to that. But
here's what I'm gonna say, man. I was exposed.
First impression wasn't that good, was it?
I was exposed to something before, so from here on out, man. I definitely would like to know who I'm talking to at all times.
You want to vet him.
I want to vet him.
We can make sure that can happen. You can vet me, man.
I already know about you, man. My folks already told me about you.
Little Ghost knows about me. You know what I'm saying?
You already know, man. Yeah, I respect and value his word.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Yeah. So, yep, you got a lot of compliments coming in here. People respect you, and they like what you're saying, and more people need to hear it. So, I will. If he wants to get started, I will help him get his channel started. You know what I'm saying? Show him what to do, and that way he can start making videos and all that, doing what he wants to do, blogs. If he wants to go out into the neighborhood and talk about his work and all that stuff, that's on him. You know what I'm saying? But I'll always be here for him to get that out. I mean, I'm not that big of a channel. I only got 1,000 subscribers, but
good enough.
Hey, man.
It's the beginning, man. That could just lead to millions,
It could. It'll take about 20 years. At this rate,
each one reach one.
Gusto, I took an L. How did I take an L? What? Okay. I didn't know we were.
Oh, you know what, man? I think I was. I think if I can, maybe that had something to do with that sparring match. I think Mighty Mouse threw one punch. You threw like 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah.
You might want to tell him about that, man.
Oh, well, now they already know. Like, they already know. So it was a sparring match, and when he showed up, I didn't know we were fighting. If I'd have known that, I'd have been like, okay, let's fight. I thought it was a friendly sparring match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, he got a few licks in. I got a couple licks in. And mostly what I was doing, I was defending against an aggressive fighter because he was aggressive. And, you know, he's not really like a soft sparring partner. And I didn't even complain. I said, hey, ease up a little bit. I was like, okay, I'm going to defend against that. So that's what I was focused on. And then he told everybody that he destroyed me. And I'm like, you might want to look up the word destroy, but it's all good.
You know, but I think he only said that he destroyed you after the revelation of that video.
Oh, yeah. Right? Oh, yeah, because he changed the title and everything. Yeah, that's how he does, though. That's what I'm saying. That's what he does when people when he says they jump ship. So they saying he's basically going to say you jump ship because like you were on his ship or something. Like you were like he was the captain. You know, oh, they jump ship. Like you owed him any loyalty like that. He did the same thing to Coolio. So that's how he operates. He flips on you. And all we're doing is asking the question, and we're putting his information. We're putting it out there. Like, look, man, you can't just walk around like your shit don't stink, and you have this on your jacket. So people understand.
Right.
What's up, Real Life No Gimmicks? I heard you had let's see. Here's Real Life No Gimmicks. He's a great guy out of Arizona. He actually took up this fight with me, and you know we both. I mean, he's the one. Real Life No Gimmicks. That's the one that Mighty Mouse said screw his daughter.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because Real Life No Gimmicks is really getting under his skin. So
you know, can I ask a question, man?
Go ahead.
How old is his daughter?
She's 14. Right, Real Life.
You know, 14. Too much resemblance, man. Too much resemblance. You know what I'm saying? Why say screw somebody's daughter that's 14? Come on, man. Give me a break.
Because he was drunk. He was super drunk, and his wife didn't act fast enough to shut down the live. So it's already out there. We already know that you're saying screw somebody's daughter, even though we defended Cash against people threatening Cash. Mm-hmm. It is what it is, man. Like that's the type of cat he is, though. Mm-hmm. But you guys can go check out Real Life No Gimmicks live stream. Y'all can rewatch that. So Real Life No Gimmicks is a veteran like me. I'm a veteran, and you know he does interviews with other vets and things like that. Really great interviews. So you know if you want to check him out, Baboo, that's great. And he's also interested in talking to you.
Yeah.
But you know again, if you want, I got his information. If you want to get his information and vet him yourself, that's fine. But
you know what? Hey, listen, man. You know, once again, man. My boy had already preferenced, you know, this meeting with, you know, with some material about you. I mean, you know, mentally, spiritually, and so that was good enough for me. And now, you know, that you know, from yesterday to today, I thought we had some pretty good conversation, and you know, so man. That's good with me, you know. That's good with me, man. Like I said, man, you know, when we sharpen each other,
that's what's up.
We sharpen each other, and we, you know, and one of the things that I would like to do if I can is to promote what you're doing, and so I respect what you're doing, man. Definitely.
I appreciate you too, man.
Right, and I don't watch Maury Povich. I know. I will watch you, my man.
Right, yeah. Hit the playlist, man.
All the time.
I got a lot of videos, and you know, yeah, and yeah. I would like to do something with Munchie B and yourself. And
you remember?
You had sat down, had lunch with him and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Skip Townsend, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, a few years ago there was, you know, a lot of static between the Inglewood family, the 90's, the 100s, and so you know Skip, you know, had contacted me and said he wanted to, you know, me to sit down with a few of the Inglewood families, and so I did. You know, I went, and of course, you know, the dialogue. I try not to bring rhetoric into any dialogue because I look at the human value I look at the human cost and everything. And so, you know, I was careful about the verbiage that I use when communicating with, you know, with these rivals. And what I can honestly say is that, I mean, you know, there's still friction, of course, but it has tapered off significantly. You know, it has tapered off significantly since that conversation. And I spoke to, I want to say, the younger Munchie B, and you know, yeah, and you know, he reminded me a lot of myself when I was young. You know, he had a no nonsense attitude, and I was like, I see why they don't like you. You know, I see, yeah, I see why they don't like you.
Yeah,
and you know, so I was like, all right, but he was extremely respectful to me, and you know, him and you know, and
hold on, baby,
that he came with was also respectful, and there was absolutely, you know, no animosity. We sat down and we had a nice lunch.
Oh, good.
Yes, I didn't eat
no
beautiful pork,
thing, man.
I didn't eat no pork or beef either.
No pork or beef.
No pork or beef.
And these are the type of things people need to hear more of, man. Like progress being made, being made, slow progress, but progress. And that's why I posted that video in my community tab. Skip Townsend talking to Munchie B, Big Munchie, and Lil AD from Rollin 60's.
Oh yeah,
and somebody from Rollin 20's. I forgot his name, but yeah, man. So we're gonna end this interview, guys, and like I said, we're gonna get more of get more of Baboo. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get a little bit more involved in this as well, just as a square, trying to put people out there. You know, I don't have any street cred, don't want none. You know what I'm saying? And it's all good. You know.
And you know, before let me just add something to that last thing, because I don't want people going around saying or assuming that, you know, we stopped the 90's, stop beefing with the Inglewood families.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that. That's not what happened. All I'm saying is that Skip Townsend asked us to meet to see if we can dissolve the years, you know, of rivalness that was going on between us. And there was nothing concrete. We didn't agree on anything. However, you know, what I have saw is a decrease in violence, which I respect.
That's what's up. And so, that exactly. So yeah. Just to be clear, he made it clear. And you know, there's still a lot of work to be done.
It's a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done.
We can take it step by step. We can't rush it. We can't force it. It has to be organic. And we're not going to get help from the government. We're not going to get help from the city like that. We got to help each other, and that's the bottom line to it.
You know, and I'm with not, you know, filling these cemeteries up and getting these mortuary riches, you know, rich. You know, I'm you know, and again, it's about promoting health and welfare and mental health for all of us. You know, African, and whether people identify with African American or Black, whatever it is, you know, we have to start working together. And like I said, anything is possible. Yes, I believe in making the impossible possible, because if we judge history, if we read history, everything was promoted to have us kill off each other. But everything was promoted to have us kill off each other, to section off, to separate. But somehow, some way, we find links. We find people like yourself, you know, to bring us back together again, man. And that's what this thing is about.
That's what's up, man. The true words have never been spoken. All right. So we're going to end on that. Thank you guys for tuning in and checking us out. Like I said, I'll put his channel information in the description. Also to his organization. You know, if you guys want to see how you can get involved, whatever contribute in any way you can. And then we'll get back on this. I'm not going to let this go. If one good thing came out of this mouse situation is it encouraged me to get more involved in this thing here. So we're going to make it work. and we're going to continue to do the work. And I want to get more involved. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
Now, Baboo, I appreciate you for getting on. And
thank you for having me, my man.
And I love how Mighty Mouse was just a small part of what we talked about. You know what I'm saying? A lot of knowledge being spit, a lot of awakening and all that stuff. So it's a great thing, man. I appreciate you
all the time, man. Appreciate you, my man.
All right,
looking forward to future endeavors.
Oh, for sure. And I'll hit you up after this. I'll get, like I said, just send me the link to your organization,
okay,
in your channel, and then I'll get that in the description. So
that matter of fact, you know, when you get you know, I want to let you know about that because, like I said, you know,
okay,
you know, the funding and everything. So I'm doing this by myself. You know,
right.
Doing this by myself. So I work for a living, so everything comes out of my pocket. But so that's why.
And you shouldn't be doing it by yourself. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know what's funny, man? If I could just say this one thing, man, because you know, in my community, man, I do safe passage. You know, it's been possible for me to network with the, you know, with the community members in my community, right? So that the kids can be safe when they go into school, walk to the liquor stores, walk to the McDonald's. After all the endeavors that I put forward, knowing that these kids are safe now, the county and the cities come in and they put workers. They refuse to even work with me. You know, knowing that they can't stop nothing in that community if these youngsters decide to go, you know, haywire. They can't stop nothing. But you know, so they put members, you know, they can't even talk to these guys, can't relate to them. You know, and I've reached out and I was like, I've been talking to the county and the city, and I was like, what's wrong with my organization in this community? You want to bring other entities in, they can't save they can't save people in our community. You know, and that's something that I'm trying to work with different organizations in so we can address this and things like that.
All right, we'll help get it going, man. Okay. Whatever we can do. All right. Well, I'll holler at y'all later.
All right. Peace.
Y'all stay hot, man, and let's keep marching forward toward freedom.
Thank the viewers too for welcoming me as well, brother.
I'm sure they appreciate it, man. They enjoyed this interview, and they really appreciate it. So, and I do too. And thank you for that. And yeah, we'll get up again. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, man. Peace out, guys.